It's the post game, man. Now we ready to start the season. So we gotta put a bow on it. A.M.P, what's on your mind?
Hey, just like that, to your point, man. Hey, the Cleveland Browns are now on the clock. Everything after this point, it's official. There is no oops, my bad. There is no, oh, we need to go back. Nah, everything at this point is recorded for quality assurance.
Well said, man. So we said we was gonna put a bow on it, bro. I know you got you some bullets over there. So what we starting with?
So the question is, how many are we carrying? How many receivers are we carrying?
Oh, God.
How many running backs are we carrying?
Oh, my Lord. You doing that now, dog? I don't have my Excel spreadsheet out, homie.
I got my screen share.
Okay. Well, keep going then. I can wing it. Go.
You know, we spitballing. You know,
Yeah. Let's go.
And again, there is a glaring light on the dashboard at cornerback, but it's always good to know an old faithful shade tree mechanic, and that old faithful shade tree mechanic is none other than Mike Zimmer. So you don't have the funds to take the car back to the dealership. Okay, cool. All you got to do is pull up in Zim's backyard and he gonna get you right.
Well said. I will say this though. Before we kind of get too deep into it. This post game is brought to you by BetUS, where you can receive 125% bonus on your first few deposits up to $2,000. Bet on your knowledge, man. Real talk. Bet on your knowledge. We're gonna be doing more to help y'all do that as well. But yeah, man. BetUS. But anyway, man, with the post game.
Oh Lord!
One of the first things I'm gonna say is Trey had an opportunity tonight, and the Cowboys had an opportunity tonight, and I think they lost it because straight up, Dak Prescott gained a lot of leverage just from letting Trey play this whole thing out. You know, just for real. Like anybody that wanted the best for the Cowboys, you also want to see Trey play very well for a couple of reasons. You wanted Trey to play well because Dak said himself, a better Trey is a better Dak. I think Dak thrives on competition. So the way that he finished out was in a way that really is not a threat to Dak Prescott. Let's keep it all the way real. It's no threat, even close to a threat. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Dak Prescott is looking like Mr. Untouchable right now. Again, no real competition, nobody to push his job, nobody to where he's got to look over his shoulder. Like it's none of that. It's a non-topic. And then he's sitting back like, I'll let y'all fight for number 2, but shit, you know who number 1 is. So yeah, he has proven and put an exclamation mark on his value by not playing a single snap in the preseason.
Yeah. So the next question is, obviously, I'm seeing some debates with some people, they really lobbying for Cooper Rush. The next question is Trey Lance or Cooper Rush for QB2.
Yeah, that's apparently that's the hot topic right now. That's the one that pushes all the buttons. So, when you look at Lance versus Rush, we all know Lance is not, we all know Rush is not bad. But I want to go ahead and break a common narrative. A lot of people who push for Cooper Rush say, yeah, he might not have the legs as Trey Lance or whatever, but they will tell you that, well, Cooper Rush ain't going to lose you the game. He'll manage. But I actually want to push back on that because is it really that he won't lose you the game? Or will the game plan and the defense not lose you the game? That is the question you really need to answer. And if you're truthful about it, Cooper Rush was protected.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush had the damn Secret Service with him.
Right.
They scoped out the land before he was even set to arrive. They went ahead and made sure all buildings were secure, all buildings that were elevated and had a vantage point. There was nobody on top of the roof that could pick off Cooper Rush. But yet, when you look at Trey Lance, they didn't do a security detail. They just said, hey, we just gonna go out there. He should be good. And that's the difference between the two. How you call those games. And I think how the Cowboys called the games back in 2022 when Cooper Rush was your backup quarterback, I think it protected him. I really do.
Right. And I think this is pretty fair right here. Because ain't no way you can watch the management at the end, right, and not consider this as a fair case against Trey Lance. You see what I'm saying? Because Trey did have 3 drives to show you something in terms of closing out a game. You know what I mean? And as noodle-armish as Cooper Rush is, right? As noodle-armish as Cooper Rush is, at least at the end, he has before closed out games. He closed out the Minnesota game. He closed out the Bengals game. Was it the Bengals game? Was it the Bengals game? Yeah. And then he said, and people laugh when I said Rush. Nah, I didn't laugh. I think, I think it's a good debate. Yeah. I think it's a good debate. Like, I don't think it's as cut as dry. I don't agree with the people that try to make it seem like Cooper Rush is just kind of like Dak here, Cooper Rush here, and then Trey Lance here. I don't see that. Like, I see Dak. Let me make myself bigger. I see Dak here. I see Cooper Rush here. And I see Trey Lance here. Now, in terms of ability, in terms of game management, I see Cooper Rush here, Dak here, Trey Lance here. If I'm grading the performance, what'd you say about that?
That's a good analysis of it, if you will, picturesque analysis. But truth be told, y'all, I'm gonna keep it all the way funky, all the way 100. Let's just come together. Let's all lock hands and let's pray that Dak Prescott does not get injured this season.
Yeah, because the offenses go sink. It don't matter who is, right? That's what we see. Right.
Yeah.
That's the offense is gonna quickly sink. It's gonna go from top 2
nosedive.
It's gonna be in the 20s. Yep. Regardless of who QB2 is.
Yeah. Because guess what? If Cooper Rush is it, truth be told, I think the lack of reps in the preseason may hurt him.
Yeah. Just
because of the fact that maybe the Cowboys already made up in their mind that he was number 2. Well, what did we really see from him? What, like 3 series? We saw 2 series the first game, and we saw 1 series the second game, and that was it.
Right.
We didn't even see him for a full quarter this preseason.
Right.
But you were still banking on 2 years ago? My question is, what has Cooper Rush done for us lately? For those who are pro Cooper Rush, what has he done for us lately? Go ahead and put it in the chat. I will wait.
You kind of slaughtered that point earlier, though. Did he even give a chance, right?
True.
He get no chance. And see, that's why I hate how they managed this preseason, bruh.
It wasn't fair.
Right? This preseason was managed because see, it's easy to sit back and let Cooper Rush sit back on that 5-1. No, let's put his ass out there with them number 2s and number 3s too, right? And then compare the two. But when you just play Trey, it's easy for everybody to stick out with their chest that are like, yeah, he better. No, put Cooper Rush out there with them bars too, right? They didn't manage this right, bro. This was a whole display of Trey. It wasn't a competition. It wasn't. It was a Trey display. It was, can he push Dak? And or at least can he push QB2?
Yeah. And because it was never about one for me. It was never about one. It was always about two. And even if he is not two, I think his name still deserves to be in the hat. Because regardless of who you feel it should be, whether it's Rush or Lance, I think we all will agree that from July 24th until now, Trey Lance has improved.
Yeah.
And if you can't acknowledge that fact, you watching the film with your ears and not your eyes.
Or you overinflating the interceptions. It could be that too, right? Because of, what you think most people hanging on that's saying Cooper Rush better right now? What are they hanging on? The interceptions. The interceptions, though, could be a factor of your QB play, which is decision making.
Yep. And another factor could be game calling.
That too, but I would say it was decision making because a lot of those decisions was on Trey, right? In my opinion, I think one of them where they took that interception, that ain't on him. I think he was trying to make something happen on third down. But in decision makings, if you giving Cooper Rush the edge, I ain't mad at that. But on ball placement, being able to buy time with your legs, having a defense to where they have to scheme and prepare for your legs. And if I really made a conscious choice to dial down my game plan, who would I rather have during the regular season? All day is Trey Lance. But that's why I said, if it's the playoffs, I'm going with Cooper Rush. Let's say if Dak just went down in the first quarter of the playoffs, Cooper Rush is going out there if I'm the coach, right?
Experience.
Yeah, because of the experience. It's because of the experience. It's because he's been in big games. Yeah. And he might take it as a sign of destiny. Trey Lance, your last chance, you did not display good game management. Now, you showed everything. You showed some touch tonight. Your touch improved. Your ball placement was good. Your legs was good. Everything was good except your game management and decisions with the football. And I think Chris hit it the best. I think Chris said it the best. Chris 2-on-4. Sometimes you got to know when to throw it away.
Yeah. Know when to hold, know when to fold.
I think his thing is as a learning thing, it's about, to me, knowing when to fold. And I don't think he showed that he greedy. Like, he don't know when to say, nah, I'm going to live for the next play. Which is something.
Boss, what about this? What if Trey Lance is treating these preseason games like Dak treats practice? What if it's just a matter of him pushing the envelope to see what he can get away with versus what he can't, considering the fact that there are no consequences because these games don't count?
I think it would have been a bad decision for him to do that, because you trying to put all of your attributes on display if you want trade value for another team. Because if I'm Trey, I'm not treating preseason like I'm trying to be somebody's QB2. I'm trying to show the world I could be somebody's QB1. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, everything goes with that. So my decision making goes with that as well. So you might have passed the test on these areas, but you flunked the test in the area that kind of lowered your grade and ability to say that you ready for the BQB1. So if you treated preseason like Dak treated practice, you squandered the opportunity, in my opinion.
Mm.
And then B Bird said with a super chat, he said, take away the TDs and the Cowboys defense played good against Green Bay. We gonna switch the topic real quick, and that's a good point. For real.
How do you take away the TDs?
Yeah, because I think he being funny. He said, take away the TDs. Yeah. Yeah.
See, you never really know which way B Bird is coming. Like sometimes it'll be like sarcasm, and sometimes he's straight up.
That's
so
sarcasm.
I don't never
That's
know.
Clear sarcasm, bro. Yeah. I really wish what he was all he saying something with that though. I wish he gave the B part of what he was saying, because he said he making a point with that. I would want to know the point he making with that, because we clearly can see the contradiction in that.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yep. So I've seen enough from Freeman, and I've seen enough from Deuce, not to the point to where they may be pushing the conversation for running back too, because I believe Rico has showed more than those two individuals. But they have showed me, and it just depends on which way numbers wise, which way the Cowboys want to go, where they put which position groups they decide they want to stack. But I believe these two have shown you that they are worth keeping around. Freeman has this set of skills. Deuce definitely has some juice. It's good to see him back healthy. And while we're talking about healthy, first of all, clap it up for the fact that we didn't have any major injuries in the game. I know we got some bad news prior to it, but that you always coach with. If he were here, he would say, get out healthy and, start game planning for Cleveland if you haven't already started doing so. But yeah, Royce Freeman, man, he showed some pop. Question is, do you think if you released him, could you possibly have the opportunity to bring him back? And I say no.
You think so?
I say no. I really, somebody would take a chance on him, because all running back rooms in the league right now ain't great. Everybody ain't sitting pretty at running back.
Yeah, man. I say this, man. When I look at, let me add Malik Davis to your equation too. Go ahead and get that in there.
What about it?
I posted Freeman and Deuce where you spoke about Deuce and Freeman, but I didn't add Malik Davis to the gumbo. So I want to get your opinion on him.
I think he's on the outside. I think he's on the outside looking in. I didn't see enough from him, and quite honestly, I believe he's a liability. That pass blocking is big for me. I can't bang the table for Zeke and mention his pass protection and not condemn Malik for his lack of. I mean, even Lil Deuce was in there trying to pop something. Like, yeah, I've the last couple of years we kept saying, why is Malik Davis not in? Why is he not getting a shot? Why is he not getting an opportunity? And from the opportunities that he's had this year, I ain't seen enough. It's nothing to write home about. He doesn't have, world-class breakaway speed. He's not gonna run you over. At the point of contact, he ain't making people miss. He's not running you over. I don't see him as a threat in the pass game as far as being a receiving running back, and I don't see him providing assistance as a pass blocker. Officially, I'm gonna have to close the door on Malik Davis because, unfortunately, I believe the tribe has spoken.
The tribe has spoken.
So you got to answer this.
Mm-hmm.
Who will be the running backs that you carrying on this roster now that preseason is over with? Let's
It's
put
definitely
it together
Zeke. It's definitely Zeke. It's definitely Rico. Rico La. It's definitely.
Something just happened to A.M.P. I don't know what happened. Let me answer that question. He'll be back. Who would be my running backs right now? You got to go with Rico. He shows a lot of explosiveness. I saw a lot out of Rico. I would want to depend on Rico between the 20s. I think he has some explosion and some speed that you don't see. Malik Davis, that would be it for me. Now, I heard Brian Broder say that the coaches and Fossil big on him because of special teams. Nah, there's no way that just a special teams try to fit this man on the roster. Not
All right, I'm back.
Okay, go ahead with what you were saying.
Little technical issue. But yeah, I was saying Deuce has definitely showed you some versatility. In the receiving game. I don't know about y'all, but I watched all 3 preseason games, and I know they said he was working out with the receivers, but I didn't see any of that. But I do know he has good hands. So if they do construct something to exploit him as a weapon, I'm for it. I like some of the things I saw from Snoop Connor and Nathaniel Pete, but it just wasn't enough. Like, again, it was a lopsided showing of. First off, we didn't get a good look at any running backs game 1. Let's just keep that funky. But game 2, you were able to see, more pop from Rico, definitely more pop from Royce and Deuce. They had me looking like, okay, maybe this running back room is okay, and that's actually where I'm at. So it's Zeke, Rico, Royce, and Deuce, and obviously Hunter Lupke is a lock.
Yeah,
but also kind of pivoting. I think what's his name? Princeton Fant. I think he may push tight end / fullback too.
I think he gonna be the odd man, bro.
You think so?
We can talk about that last.
I think they'll snatch him back up, though. I think they'll spin the block on him.
Yeah, they should be able to snatch him back up, but I think the equation of Schoon, that's a whole nother. We can talk about that now. Let's go ahead and talk about that now. I think the equation of Schoon has thrown off everything.
It's holding everything up.
He's like, the forcing of Schoon is, to me, taking away of the value of the other guys that's better, more deserving, just frankly better football players.
Yeah.
See, I hate the fact that just because he's a second rounder, they go force his ass out there, man. You know what I mean? And when you look at the versatility that Fant displayed, the H-back, the tight end, and being able to play him in tight, just everything that you was able to see, like
versatile.
You could see the versatility that you don't have in Schoon. And then I was saying the entire time, if I was Span, I would be hot because they ran no schemes at all to open him up. At all. Like everything him and John Stevens had to do, they had to earn the hard way. That's real talk. They had to earn the hard way. It was not a scheme for them. They had to get open. It was, you see what I'm saying? So when you
trial by fire.
Trial by fire. So like when you break down, especially when you look at the all-22 and you can see who's the guys who was finding the soft spots in the zone and stuff like that. Like Spanning was doing it, but sometimes you need like Trey or the QB2 to deliver the ball.
True.
and they forcing it. So it's like it's a log jam of talent that's waiting on.
Bruh, I got a better way to say it, boss.
Say it.
We done pulled up to the gas station. We are 3.5 hours into a road trip. We done walked to the back of the store. You got 2 sets of bathrooms, women and men. And it is literally one toilet in each bathroom. And we sitting here about to piss up ourselves because you won't get off the pot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Placeholder.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
You don't give everybody else that many chances.
Right.
What's so special about Luke?
And you don't give nobody else play designs that's fit for you to stand out. Like the other people having to go downfield, they sending him across field, they bootlegging him and giving these loft passes. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you can't trick me in where I don't see where you actually got design plays to feature him.
And quite honestly, you know, whenever you reference Luke Schoolmaker, they always talk about the blocking. But honestly and truthfully, his blocking is not that superior to where I'm like, oh my God, I have to have him. Or if I don't, my offense will fail. No.
Yeah.
You find somebody else to come in here and block.
Right.
Hell, you could use one of them backup, one of the other backup tight ends to block. I mean, like, we talking about blocking? Like, that's what's going to keep you on the team?
Yeah.
Hell, if that's the case, tell him to put on some weight and send his ass out at tackle. Because we need him.
You know, I'm going to say this and I mean this. You know what Luke's need more than anything? They need to bench him, bro. They need to bench him. The best thing that happened to Jarwin was when they benched him. See, we got this entitlement thing going on with the Dallas Cowboys that because of how much they paying you or where they drafted you, they're going to try to force it out there. And I think that causes an apathy and that causes a complacency with the players that's favored. They don't max out. But when they see that they can lose it, when they see that other people sitting in the wings hungrier, that's actually playing better, bench him and then give him a chance. I guarantee if they would have put him on the bench and started somebody else and then threw him out there, he would have looked a whole lot better. But what they communicate is you can get hurt, you can drop balls, you can be average. But just because we drafted you in the second round, hey, you're our guy. You're one of our guys. You're our son. Yep.
Man, the man got bad breath and never put his hand in front of his face.
It's facts. Yeah. So they, this is one of those things I think they managing poorly. Like, just being honest, they just manage. But it's okay. It's okay. The fact that we got tight end one solid, we got a super solid tight end one. I'm gonna keep my eyes on tight end too. But the question for Cowboy Nation is, how long are we gonna sit back and just kind of watch the lack of competition and real competition at tight end too?
Yeah, I mean, because it's at the end of the day, to me, it's a liability. Because if we are in a 21 personnel, 2 tight end situation, if I'm that if I'm that defense and I done looked thoroughly through that film, bruh, ain't nobody, and I mean nobody is checking for 86, bruh.
Mm-mm.
He could be wide the hell open and he might drop it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. So if it's a situation to where, you in 21, you're presenting power, but it's actually a design passing play. Who's scared of him? They gonna leave him wide open every time. Every time. Like, they check for Jake.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they would check for John Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Hell, they even check for Peyton Hendershot.
Oh,
and to me, To me, I would rather pour into Peyton Hendershot because he's at least shown you in the passing game that he can be active and he's a fairly decent blocker. But he ain't getting them. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, I don't feel like he has the support in the building. He doesn't have any advocates. Because where was his attempts to make him look better? Do y'all even recall seeing him in the preseason? Or have y'all made up your mind and you bubble wrapped him and it's gonna be Ferguson, Schoolmaker, and Hendershot again, and your new guys that you just recently acquired with all this talent and John Stevens and Princeton Fant, you gonna let them fall by the wayside and run the risk of letting somebody scoop them up just because you gonna ride with your old guys? If that's the case, how do you get better from season to season, boss?
You don't.
If you're gonna rinse and repeat.
You don't. And see, it's sad because everybody unanimously have screamed John Stevens for the last 2 years, and it's clear that they still rolling out there with Schoon as cute tight end too. My thing is this though. Hold on real quick, man. What's going on with my stuff, man? All right. My B-roll didn't come up. Yeah, my B-roll didn't come up.
I was about to say, we must have been cooking too good.
I'll say this. Awesome Richards at left tackle. So I know
like week one?
No, just as, we just kind of, because obviously we breaking down the last of preseason with what we saw and how it affects the season. So it's not too much of this that's going to affect the season. So, so everything we talking about is stuff that could potentially affect the season. So that's why we was talking about rush, and because you got to talk about rush and trade because that's trade value stuff. We got to talk about tight end too because you might end up needing that guy. You got to talk about running back because the running back still got question marks at it. So we had to talk about that. But then we got to talk about left tackle because of the lack of depth.
Yeah. Because God forbid, and we're going to end it right here, God forbid Jake Ferguson get hurt. Who's your tight end 1 and tight end 2? Think about it. I just wanted to float that out there. Y'all can ponder on it tonight when you lay your heads on your pillow. But God forbid if Jake Ferguson gets hurt, who's TE1 and who's TE2? But yeah, to this left tackle, Richards has to be really by default. And he's been the best one who stepped in there after the injury of Chuma Edoga.
Yeah.
Tyler Guyton has showed you with his power and his athleticism. Yes, he may have some stumbling blocks here and there. Yes, he's going to, hit that rookie wall at some point. But the one thing that I like about him is he looks good even being as raw as he is.
Right.
So the upside is on the super positive. Like the man he's got the nasty in him. I mean, pure unadulterated nasty. And Chuma with the not Chuma, but Awesome Richards, we've been kind of calling for him. And even when we had injuries at that position over the last couple of years, we kept saying, when is he going to get his chance? When is he going to get his chance? Well, they move a placeholder, future Hall of Famer, Mr. Smith, out of the way. And they said, okay, this is what we got. And they used their first round draft pick to take care of that position. Maybe Chuma was the plan initially just because of the experience. After the injury, the decision has kind of been made for us. That Band-Aid, they snatched it. But I think Awesome Richards, with the reps that he's gotten, he showed you that he can be a solid backup tackle. And quite frankly, he's been more healthy than Chuma has been. That's the real difference.
This is interesting, bro. this right here coming from a Philly fan. And it was, I got to get Eric his props. He's a loyal watcher of Boss Cowboy Sports, man. So even though you root for the wrong team, appreciate you anyway. And he bringing a Philly perspective right here. Check this out. He said, we need a safety. And we're willing to swap James Bradbury for Hooker. That's a pretty even trade if you ask me.
Make it a corner and you might have it.
That's corner. James Bradbury corner.
Okay.
My boy say hard pass. I don't know. With the absence of Bland, it ain't quite a hard pass. Not hard. Now, I'll be open to that. That ain't to me a bad idea. And he's serious. Eric ain't trolling on that. Like, that's a real football. Boys is laughing like, and see, and they boys say Bradbury trash. He not trash, y'all. He not trash. He just not as good as I got. He just not as good as our guys. Yeah, and I do agree that Bradbury has regressed. I do. But it's almost. Do we need a corner, bro, or do we go in there with Israel and say we good?
Bro, Izzy.
Yeah, I say go in there with Izzy. I think the only trade we need to be looking at safety for DT or safety for defensive end.
Yeah.
I'm going Izzy over Bradbury right now. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the idea. I appreciate somebody actually trying to figure out a solution that's not even up our team.
I swear.
But, giving it thought, I'm going Izzy. And I'm not on that our guy stuff. I'm just like upside. Yeah. So, the last thing. This is the last thing, because we're not going to try to squeeze nothing out of preseason 3. Turning the page to now the Browns. I want you to tell me what's getting ready to happen, man, with our 2 most important players.
So, it's easy to tell me no over the phone, but it's much harder to tell me no in my face. And I think once all parties finally sit down at the Star in Frisco, it won't be long. CD will have a deal. Dak will be soon to follow. The main issue I have with Dak is, see, you can make the argument for CD that the holdup is he hasn't been in the presence of the Jones family, right? Because, they say a lot of times the deals get done when we get in the room together and, we're knee to knee, shoulder to shoulder or whatever. That's how we get it done. But Dak been there since day one. He ain't missed a practice, except for the times you told him he was going to have a veteran day off for rest. So with Dak being there, why his ain't done? That's the goofy to me. And I'm pushing back on my own point, but who's to say that CD being in the same city with them, he gets it done? I think just the natural pressure of the fact that we are actually in game prep mode is what'll expedite it, not his simple presence. So yeah, I push back on my own point. I know.
Man, it happens.
How you feeling about it?
People do that. The problem is, man, you never know with Jerry and Steven. That's the problem, bro. See, I hate having these discussions because a lot of times we all speak 2 different languages. We speak the language of football first, But then when you're talking about them Joneses, you got to think about the business side of it. You got to think about how much publicity money they make on controversy when you're trying to go about what they're likely going to do or what could happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the good news is this. I think the fans have put a lot of pressure on the Joneses. I think for the first time in a while, they are feeling exponential pressure and they are feeling the frustration from the fans. So their biggest commodity is fan hope, right? So when we hope, we go out and spend, right? When we hope, we go restock our hats, our shirts, our game rooms. We go get excited and we go out there and show the excitement with our pockets, right?
Yeah.
So because they trying to manage the in my opinion, the excitement of Cowboy fans, that makes Dak and CD have ample leverage because they are the last things to bring hope back to the start of the season. If they are crazy enough to take a squabble into the season, it's gonna deflate hope and they gonna lose epic money. And I just think the pressure is what's gonna get it done. Yeah, I think the pressure of the fans is what's gonna get it done. Real talk.
Good point.
My question is this though. At one point, would you go crazy if they not done? When would you go crazy? Let's start with CD. When would you go crazy? We're gonna do this one at a time. CD first. Yeah.
If it is not done by Friday, to me that says, because by the time Friday comes, they would have already met in person once, maybe even twice. Okay. And if Friday comes and that hasn't happened, to me that says we're a long way off. Because if it was small, minute details, they would hash that out in person, not letting him leave the building without signing. But if it don't happen by Friday, and then now you're spilling into the following week, which is actual game week, and that's still the cloud over the team, that means you're a long way from getting it done. So now that means that you're talking about missing games. Because CD said he put the video out. Y'all saw it. Now I'm just waiting on the phone call. Waiting while the Joneses and their ego take their sweet ass time. Is that how you handle your star? Is that how you respect your star? Quite frankly, right now, to me, it appears that's how you spit on your star. And spitting is actually what, y'all? It is a criminal misdemeanor crime.
I say by Tuesday.
Ooh, that early?
It needs to be by Tuesday. The reason why I say Tuesday is because that's cut down. That's cut down day. It's the last cut down day is Tuesday. So we know by the last cut down day, everybody then turns all their energy to the first opponent.
Yeah.
If you don't have him in the building when the whole focus is the next opponent,
damn.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
I'm gonna say this guy is the number one bullshit guy. If they don't have him done by Tuesday, even if you gotta overpay, you gotta have this thing done. By the time the whole team is focusing on the Browns, he don't need to miss one day. Not one. That's the day I'm going crazy. Me, M. That's the day I'm going crazy. Tuesday, the day of the final word. If it's no breaking news that CeeDee Lamb has been signed by Tuesday and everybody has been cut, I'm going off. I'm telling you.
Damn. But then I get to thinking too. How long have we known this day, this moment was coming?
Oh man.
We knew the start of the 2024 season, as the old church folk would say, God willing and the creek didn't rise. Sometime late August, early September in 2024, CeeDee Lamb was literally getting ready to start the last year of his current contract. We knew that last year. We knew that back in 23. We also knew that back in 22. So in essence, to me, you've had a 2-year window to figure this out. Now, granted, the target of the market of wide receiver has been constantly moving and progressing in a northward angle since then. But the Jones family told you, Jerry and Steven told you, nobody knows about what the cap might be in the future than us. So you knew that. You knew you weren't going to bring Tyron Smith back. You knew it was some other guys you weren't going to bring back. You knew that at the conclusion of the Green Bay game. You knew that. You already knew it. You knew who was going to be a casualty. So you had an idea of what your cap situation was going to look like. You know what money you had available on hand. And you mean to tell me you're waiting till the 12th hour to figure this out? Why? Why procrastinate so long? Are you that thirsty for some damn views?
Yeah, they are. And see, my boy, he said, Demetrius Alexander said, y'all need to calm down. You don't get to be worth $11 billion by doing what every other team does. Well, you actually making a point. That's the problem. They make so much money off of controversy. That's what make them worth so much, is that the other teams actually put football first versus they put wealth first. So just compare them to the Eagles. Do the Eagles have all their main people in camp? All the camps too. Most people deadlines was before minicamp and OTAs, because they trying to get their leaders in the building so that the young guys could then become under the leadership and learn the culture. Look at Detroit. When did they get all their main guys, their quarterback, their tackle, their receiver? Every one of them was done.
Bro, they did 2 in 1 day, dog.
Yeah. So I feel you on them being worth $11 billion by doing what other teams don't do. I totally disagree on us needing to calm down. If
Maybe
anything,
Jerry,
we need to keep the pressure up on their ass, because that's the only thing that's gonna get Dak and them done, is when they know that it's gonna backfire, that fans is actually pissed about this. That's when they'll go ahead and get it done. It's the same thing that happened with Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, he was sneak dissing Jimmy Johnson, and it's more to worry about than Jimmy's groveling and sniveling. He said all of that. But then when he put DeMarcus Ware in the Ring of Honor, and he saw the anger of Cowboy fans and how they just got sick of the disrespect that was happening to Jimmy Johnson, and he saw it via Twitter, all of a sudden he just got this urge for Jimmy Johnson. So they got to get it done. Our last subject, and we getting out of here and we ready to start the season. Dak.
So
same question. It's for you, El. Same question. When are you going crazy if it's not done? Or when does it get done? We'll do 2 questions on you. When does it get done, and when are you going crazy if it's not done?
I'm going crazy if it doesn't get done before we kick off to Cleveland.
Yeah, that's my day too.
Because after being tagged, we saw what it was with him after the injury back in 2020. That it tore me up. I literally was in tears because of the situation that young man was in. But this man is a daddy now, and A.M.P, I always got to make it personal for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Current job had a situation with a superior because of how I challenged him. He took it upon himself to not only slap me on the wrist, but he made an attempt to take food out of my mouth, my wife's mouth, and both of my children's mouth. I no longer speak to that individual. He no longer has my respect. And quite frankly, if I'm Dak Prescott right now, if you are taking food and money out of my mouth, my old lady's, my wife's mouth, and my brand new child, y'all quick to put the pictures up on the Cowboys website, but support that damn family that you're promoting.
Ooh.
So to answer your question, boss, if it's not done by Cleveland, I have no respect for you. And if we talking, it's going to be strictly about team business. It ain't no contract talks. This is not going to spill into the season. And I'm going to bust your ass in free agency. You're going to have to pay me or I'm out.
My answer to that question, when does Dak get done? I think Dak get done at the little bottom out. I think he go get done next week. He gonna be like a buzzer beater.
Friday before they get on the plane to go to Cleveland?
It's gonna be before Friday because they gonna want to do a press conference before game 1.
So probably because they'll leave Saturday early. So they're gonna want to do that press conference on Friday. So it either gets done late Thursday
or Wednesday.
Thursday
and
afternoon.
They probably won't want it on a Friday because they gonna want max media. Fridays are slow days for media, so they gonna want a Thursday, so where they can get the maximum publicity from it going into the game.
And it'll hit the papers that following Friday.
Right. Yeah.
The next day.
That's my guess. But I would officially, your day is my day. I'm literally going crazy if he's not done before kickoff. It's go.
Yep, because to me that says you are okay with him not being given that insurance that no matter what happens to you at this point, we gonna pay you.
B Bird, I love you for this. Listen to what B Bird said, and I said the same thing. Hold on, B Bird said. So he said, put it football first. First of all, it's getting player signed early. That's his super chat. But he also said this: if it ain't done by Cleveland, Dak should shut negotiation down. I said,
shut it down.
Shut it down. I said the same thing, bro. I said this
because you playing with me.
You
playing with me. You take me for a goddamn joke.
And you putting pressure on me, man. You basically you throwing me out there to the vultures and the wolves. You are sending me to be talking points for shady media. Because every week they're gonna, did Dak do enough to earn his money? It don't matter what Dak does, they go still ask that question. Dak can throw for 600 yards, 8 touchdowns in one game. If we lose that game, they go still say, is Dak worth it? You got to be able to carry the team. It's going to be question after question every week just because Jerry and them left that stuff hanging out there. It also signals something very, very nefarious and shady. It says that every other team value their quarterbacks that were not MVP candidates over them valuing a guy that was a top MVP candidate and literally was the MVP. It is the worst message in the world. It is disrespectful for Tua to get his bag, for Sunshine to get his bag, for all these quarterbacks to be showed faith who not even close to Dak. If y'all got the fucking nerve to send this man into the season without his bag, with a contract hanging over his head, with a new baby, y'all ain't shit.
Ain't shit.
Just straight
Boss,
up.
you know what else? You know what else I just thought about? To B Bird's point, right? About football being first. If Coach were here right now, if you're listening, Coach, you're going to be proud with what I'm about to say. In regards to football being first, if you don't have Dak signed by Cleveland, what you are saying is you are okay and totally fine with Dak Prescott not giving 100% effort. Why do you say that, Amp? I say that because if you go out there without that security, guess what? If I'm Dak Prescott, scramble drill. What scramble drill? That shit gonna be in the dirt.
Facts.
In the dirt.
Facts.
Damn my completion percentage. Nobody open? Shit. All right. In the damn dirt. I ain't running for nobody. Hell, that Schumer, Tyler Guyton whiffed on that block. I see that end coming around the corner. Whoop,
Slide.
shit, it's in the dirt.
Yeah. You better not call no RPO.
So that because think about it, y'all. After Dak's injury, there was a piece of him that was missing until recently. He was not using his legs. So if you don't have this man protected by the time the season starts, you're okay with him being less of himself. So that means that you are okay with football not being first if your quarterback is not able to be comfortable in who he truly is and play and exploit all aspects of his game. I digress, man.
Man, Amp, let everybody know where they can find you.
Catch me on all social media platforms at A.M.P Sports with the S. I'm excited, y'all. Look, I know after Green Bay, a lot of us checked out, and some of us are like unfaithful married men at this point. We got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. But y'all stick around.
You don't know
man.
nothing about that, though. You don't know nothing about that, though. You don't know nothing about that.
Black men don't cheat, though.
They don't.
So that got us in a lot of trouble one night, if you remember,
with my
bro.
girl Candy. Well, man, Candy went at it over there. That's my girl. I miss Candy. I can't wait till we do some shows coming up. We got some shows.
Man. But
That's my
yeah, I'm
girl.
excited, and it's gonna be even better because again, I'm doing it with two great individuals. I love when OC comes in and spins it and gives us that different narrative. Candy, she always gonna come on fire with super details that nobody might be thinking of. But hey, this is it, y'all. This is the Dallas Cowboys. This is the good, the bad, the ugly. Like it, hate it, love it. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and we just here to talk about it. I appreciate y'all. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good becomes your better and your better becomes your best. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, yours truly, Mr. Amp. Y'all be blessed.
And it's your boy Boss, man. First of all, Big Time is in the house. Big Time, we got to get on each other's calendar, man. It's time for us to do a show. It's been too long.
My brother.
You know, hopefully your Wednesday looking good, or maybe Monday. Let's reach out to each other. Big Time, one of the most authentic men in this space. Good man.
Super.
Very top-notch production, man, and a lot of just good to say about it. So yeah, we need to get on each other's calendar. Let's talk and try to get something going. Another person that we in talks is Lose Take. So Lose has started a new channel. We've been going back and forth, and we setting up something too to where y'all gonna be hearing from me and Lou at some point in the future. We just need to trying to get a date down.
Lou.
Same thing, maybe Monday or Wednesday, you know, something like that. And you know, we'll get out there and start preparing everybody for Cleveland. But this is the end. We are officially in the season, y'all. We are officially in the season, so it's here. The game time is here. And I'm going to say this, man. I'm so glad that the Cowboy fans are back. Because, A.M.P, they're back. They're back.
Yes.
I appreciate that Cowboys Nature. My boy Cowboys Nature, man, he been saying this a lot, and I really do appreciate this. He said, Boss Cowboy Sports Damn Podcast in the DC space. I think we definitely up there, man. I feel like it's a lot of talent in the space. That's a great compliment, bro. It's a lot of talent in the space, but I know we up there. I do believe that. I'm not saying that cocky.
No, I'm laughing at Sweet Lou comment. See, I said it. I said Sweet Lou, and he said that literally was my nickname. Sweet Lou.
Your name's Sweet Lou, dog? Hold on, Sweet Lou, dog? Sweet Lou? I ain't mad at the Sweet Lou, bro. Sweet Lou. God dang. Okay. But I wanted to say, hold on real quick. My boy David, you right. David right. David
Robin.
Right. Yeah, let's get them likes up, man. And listen, that happens a lot. Trust me, I get it. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I get caught up listening to content, and I forget to hit that like, man. So before we finally really wrap this up, and now our content is getting ready to start flipping. It's flipping to the season. It's flipping to what's to win in the season. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all gonna see a couple of things that I'm gonna post pretty soon. I'm gonna replay for y'all Zeke and the film breakdown on Zeke. Okay. A.M.P told me to do that, so it's A.M.P idea, but I'm gonna do it because it's a good idea. It's a good idea because it's a lot of false narratives out there on Zeke. Like, it's a lot of.
And just in case you missed it, while you were checked out,
right? And see, that's the point. A lot of Cowboy fans checked out after Green Bay, so it's some content that we put out there that a lot of people didn't see just because they was just done. But see, we can see from everybody's numbers and my numbers and everybody's numbers is way up. That mean y'all back. You know what I mean? That mean y'all took a break and y'all back. So I'm gonna post that video so that y'all can get caught up that most of what people are saying on Zeke is a false narrative. It's totally false, and we already proved it by the film. That's number one. But the most important film that I'm gonna do on Zeke is not that film, because that film is not as important as the film that I'm gonna do on how to use Zeke. That's the one. My goal is to have that done way before kickoff. I'm gonna try to have it done this week, where we go talk about the difference between how New England used him and how Dallas never used him. And it's night and day. Like, everybody, when they talk about Zeke, they talk about Zeke from average per carries and stuff like that. Most people don't talk about him as a weapon when you flare it out to him, or where you leak it out to him, where you getting him out there with them corners, and now you got power on little guys, right? They not talking about that, or they not talking about how to match him up with linebackers to get that mismatch going. It's so many ways that I saw New England use him in a very smart way that you never saw Dallas. So this is not about lobbying for Zeke and being Zeke friend and believing in Zeke. It's about winning. So it's also time to put some ideas out there to win. So we back on that again. Competition Tuesdays is going to be back again. All those things that make this team better, we are back at it again on a weekly basis. It's Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. This the final preseason postgame. We out.